Now to French politics, and there too, there's a presidential campaign with the far right catching the headlines this week. With us is Danielle Ziri, I24 News editor. Thank you very much on the French channel. Thank you very much for coming. How has the far right in France become a family business?
Completely a family business, Jacob, and actually people in France call it the Dallas of French politics, the whole family
A
family
soap opera
setting.
of right-wing
Soap opera
extremists.
completely. And that starts with the patriarch, right? And the patriarch in this case is Jean-Marie Le Pen, that you can see right behind me. He's 86 years old. He founded the party in 1972. He was the first president of the party and the founder. He's been there for ages. For 50 years, his family's been leading this party. He has 3 daughters, all of whom have been involved somehow or are still involved. Their spouses as well are involved in the party, even his ex-wife was. Of course, the most involved of them is Marine Le Pen, who is now the president of this party. She took over for him in 2011, and even the granddaughter is getting into the mix now.
Now, it looks like the daughter is doing even better than he did, maybe thanks to some changes in her policies,
Yes.
which he now disapproved.
Yes, well, we actually had a big rift last week, especially because of that. You have to know the relationship between Marine Le Pen and her father has always been quite rocky. In fact, she calls him Le Pen and he calls her Madame Le Pen. So that just goes to show you how rocky this relationship is. But he has always been known for controversial comments, very hateful speech. And she sort of had enough of it. Last week, she stood up against it. And what broke the camel's back was another comment about the Holocaust, which he's done many times before. This time he called the gas chambers a detail of the Second World War. She stood against it. She said it was political suicide to say something like that. And she announced officially that she was not going to support him in the bid for regional elections. So that created a huge rift between them. And she has indeed wanted to detach from her father in that sense.
Right, but not that she's changing really her ways. I mean, she's a nationalistic, extreme right politician. Maybe she tries to disguise this a little bit?
A little bit. Well, you know, she's worked very hard to get to this point where she is today. We have to know that this party is actually doing quite great in France. I mean, a few years ago, saying that they would have a chance in the presidential bid was quite far-fetched. Today, not so far-fetched anymore. And there's a few reasons for that. First of all, it's a party that's been gaining popularity in France, especially against the backdrop of the disaster that François Hollande and his socialist rule has made of France. If you look at the results in previous elections, the departmental elections last month and the European elections last year, they came in first and second places. So they're doing quite well under her. And also the attacks in Paris in January kind of played into that narrative, the anti-immigration narrative that they've been advocating for this whole time. It was sort of the I told you so that Marine Le Pen needed. Now, what's interesting is that she kind of wants to put her controversial father aside, which means last week's rift between them and this fight and her standing up against her father could, some people say, be orchestrated and be something specially made so she can appeal to average voters and show that she's not her father.
Everything possible with his family.
Everything is.
Danielle Ziri, I thank you very much.
Thank you.